भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठभूतले प्रभुपादप्रिय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामी सुभक्तरास बिहारीभ्यं भक्तिभ्यश्चात्मदायिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठभूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदेवतारिणम्। Hare Krishna. So we are reading Canto 5. We're starting chapter 6. So Miraba, you like to read?
Hare Krishna. Chapter 6, The Activities of Lord Rishabdev. This chapter tells how Lord Rishabdev left his body. He was not attached to his body even when it was being burned up in the forest fire. When the seed of a fruitive activity is burned by the fire of knowledge, the spiritual properties and the mystic powers are automatically manifest. Yet Bhakti Yoga is not affected by these mystic powers. An ordinary yogi is captivated by mystic powers and his progress checked Therefore, perfect yogi does not welcome them. Because the mind is restless and undependable, it must remain always under control. Even the mind of the advanced yogi, Shobhari, created such a disturbance that he lost his yogic mystic powers. Due to his restless mind, even a very advanced yogi can fall down. The mind is so restless that it induces even a perfect yogi to be controlled by the senses. Therefore, Lord Rishabdev, for the instruction of all yogis, showed the process of quitting the body. While travelling in South India through the provinces of Karnataka, Konka, Venka and Kotaka, Lord Rishabdev arrived in the neighbourhood of Kotachala. Suddenly there was a forest fire that burned the forest and Lord Rishabdev's body to ashes. The pastime of Lord Rishabdev as a liberated soul were known by the king of Konka, Venka and Kotaka. This king's name was Arhat. He later became captivated by the illusory energy, and in this condition he set forth the basic principles of Jainism. Lord Rishabdev set forth the principle of religion that can free one from material bondage, and he put an end to all kinds of atheistic activities. On this earth, the place known as Bharatvarsh was very pious land because the Supreme Lord appeared there when he wanted to incarnate. Lord Rishabdev neglected all mystic powers for which the so-called yogis hanker. Because of beauty of the devotional service, devotees are not at all interested in the so-called mystic power. The master of all yogic power, Lord Krishna, can exhibit all powers on behalf of his devotee. Devotional service is more valuable than yogic mystic powers. Devotees who are sometimes misled aspire for liberation and mystic powers. The Supreme Lord gives these devotees whatever they desire, but they cannot attain the most important function of devotional service. Devotional service to the Lord is guaranteed for those who do not desire liberation and mystic power. Hare Krishna.
So this is going to be a short chapter. So the gist is given. So it's very interesting. Text 1. Rajo vacha nunam bhagava atmaramanam yoga samrita jnanava bharjita karma bijanam aishwaryani punah kleshadani bhavitum arhanti yadrichayopagatani. King Parikshit asked Shukdev Goswami, "My dear Lord, for those who are completely pure in heart, knowledge is attained by the..." You can follow with her?
She wants to learn it.
No, you... Yeah, it's because you're very new. You won't be able to, catch. Huh? So you follow in the book. When we are speaking, then you can hear, but it's too complicated. King Parikshit asked Shukdev Goswami, "My dear Lord, for those who are completely pure in heart, knowledge is attained by the practice of bhakti yoga. An attachment for fruitive activity is completely burned to ashes. For such people, the powers of mystic yoga automatically arise. They do not cause distress. Why then did Rishabdev neglect them?" So here, the question is that he is doing bhakti yoga, right? So he's gone beyond karma and jnana, and automatically he gets mystic power. Anybody who is practicing bhakti yoga properly, they attain mystic power. And here, King Parikshit is saying, why did Rishabdev why was he not interested in it? And for such people, meaning those who are bhaktas, the powers of mystic yoga automatically arise. They do not cause distress, right? Why then did Rishabdev neglect them? A pure devotee is constantly engaged in the service of the Supreme Person of Godhead. Whatever is necessary for the discharge of devotional service is automatically attained though it may appear to be the result of mystic yoga power, like Prabhupada traveled, right, 14 times across the whole world, right? And he's so old, when he walks, his young boys and girls going to keep up with him, right? Okay, 70-year-old man crossed over this Pacific Ocean, who's supposed to be Pacific by name only, right? He had 2 heart attacks. How is that possible? And then he went to a completely unknown land. Absolutely unknown land. He didn't even know what to expect. Right? And he set up an international movement. He had only 10-12 serious students. But these were gems, those who joined him. So dynamic. Besides being intelligent, they were ready to do any service. They were ready to change their plans to fit in the old man's plan. Is that not mystic power? Right? An unknown old man. Right? So he has so much power, spiritual power, convincing power, that he could make young Americans give up their plans. He could get them married. Right? They were boyfriend, girlfriend living together. He could convince them to get married. Right? So these are the mystic powers of a bhakti yogi. So whatever is necessary for the discharge of devotional service is automatically attained, though it may appear to be the result of mystic yoga power. He gave sannyas to young boys in their 20s. And these boys went around the whole world. They preached and they spread a movement. Prabhupada did everything within 10 years. It is called mystic power. Right? So whatever is necessary for the discharge of devotional service is automatically attained. Like who he was meeting. I mean, all of you, I hope you are reading Prabhupada Lilamrita. If you want to understand this small sentence, whatever is necessary for the discharge of devotional service automatically attained. You can see how Krishna was doing everything. It's superhuman, it's miraculous. Going from one place to the next, who he was meeting, who could have arranged for Prabhupada to meet these people, right? And recorded also whatever he did. I asked 1966 lectures, how is it that I'm hearing 1966 lecture Prabhupada? I asked. He just went there, right? Unknown person. I say, how is it that we are hearing these lectures? Right? I asked. Then, I don't know who I asked. And told me, Prabhupada told them record. He had only a bunch of hippies around him and 10 students who were serious. Is this not mystic power? Right? So whatever was necessary is automatically attained. Sometimes a yogi displays a little yogic power by manufacturing gold. A little quantity of gold captivates foolish people, and thus the yogi gets many followers who are willing to accept such a tiny person as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a yogi may also advertise himself as Bhagavan. However, a devotee doesn't have to exhibit such magical wonders. Without practicing the mystic yogic process, he achieves even greater opulence all over the world. See, Prabhupada is writing 10 to 5, right? So meaning that was not so far. Prabhupada started the movement in 1966, right? Meaning Prabhupada hadn't spread so much, but Prabhupada is speaking about it in 10 to 5. Such a yogi may also advise us, without practicing the mystic yoga process, he achieves even greater opulence all over the world. Under the circumstances, Lord Rishabdev refused to manifest mystic yogic perfections, and Maharaj Parikshit asked why he didn't accept them, since for a devotee, they are not at all disturbing. A devotee is never distressed or satisfied by material opulence. His concern is how to please the Supreme Person of Godhead. If by the grace of the Supreme Lord a devotee achieves extraordinary opulence, he utilizes the opportunity for the Lord's service. He is not disturbed by the opulence. Alright. His concern is how to please the Supreme Person Godhead. If by the grace of the Supreme Lord a devotee achieves extraordinary opulence, meaning not just a few penny, right? Extraordinary opulence, he utilizes the opportunity for the Lord's service. And he's not disturbed by opulence, meaning even opulence can disturb us, right? I just, heard the story of Indra. Indra, he made, and we're going to read about that in the next canto. So Indra, he made so many blunders. He killed a Brahmana. So all because of position or whatever. So he left. He left his kingdom, and he went hiding somewhere. He was doing his own tapasya. So they appointed King Nahush. Alright? Nahush was a very noble person, very control, all good qualities. Alright? So they approach Nahush and ask him, now you become the Indra. Alright? What happened to him? Nahush, who was so calm and renounced everything, he sat on that throne of Indra, and gradually he started becoming more and more powerful. So dangerous to become a king, right? Such a point, he saw Sachi Devi, wife of Indra. Alright, he went crazy. He's sitting on that throne thinking he's actually the Indra. He forgot that he's only replacing, right? He saw the wife of Indra. He said, you become my queen. So this Devi, Sachi Devi, right? She's demigod's wife. She ran to Brihaspati. So then they plotted against Nahush. Right? What to do? You need to have some brain when somebody is powerful and lusty, right? They have to be defeated by intelligence, right? Because if you can't defeat somebody by physical power, there's something higher. This is intelligence. So they plotted against him, and just see the cooperation now, So, you know the story? I just heard that story is narrated. So what they say? So Sachi Devi pretended, yes, I'm going to marry you on one condition, that the Sapta Rishi, they are going to carry a palki. Alright. They're going to carry, the palki of this Nahush, right? And he's so proud, right? Just imagine, he's so proud. He sat on a palki, drawn. The horses are the Sapta Rishi, And now see, because Brihaspati, he is like intelligent. So all the Shapta Rishi became the humble, right? Palki carriers of this so-called new Indra. So then I forgot exactly what happened in between, but Nahush kicked Agastya Muni. So what happened? Naturally. Understand? When you become proud, right? When you become proud, powerful with position and wealth, you start lusting over other people's property. 100% you are going to do some blunder, right? So, and so they knew how to catch him, right? So they put a Muni on his path, right? So he kicked that Muni. He forgot that this is not a horse. This is a Muni, right? So he got cursed immediately, and Nahush became a python. Remember I spoke about that python? And that Nahush belonged to who? Do you remember? I told you who he belonged to? The great-grandfather of the Kurus. Just see how dangerous it is. Great-grandfather of the Kurus. Meaning that here you are, you're powerful king, so because of your piety, you've done so much on earth, and then you get promoted, you go higher to Swarga Lok, and there you go and become python. So padam yad vipadam natesham. Very, very dangerous. So therefore, Rishabdev was not interested in show of mystic power. Text. Rishiruvacha satyam muktam kinchviha ekena manosodha vishrambham anavasthanasya shatha kirata eva sangachante. Srila Shukdev Goswami replied. So Rishi Uvacha. Srila Shukdev Goswami replied, my dear king, you have spoken correctly. However, after capturing animals, a cunning hunter doesn't put faith in them, for they might run away. Similarly, those who advance in spiritual life do not put faith in the mind. Indeed, they always remain vigilant and watch the mind's action. Alright, we just gave the story of King Nahush, right? So calm and sober, self-realized, self-control, and here you are. You put him on the seat of Indra and he became crazy, right? Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 18.5, Lord Krishna says, Yagya dana tapa karma natyajam karyam evatat yagyo danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishanam. Acts of sacrifice, charity and penance are not to be given up but should be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity and penance purify even the great souls. Even one who has renounced the world and taken sannyas should not renounce chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Renunciation doesn't mean that one has to renounce Sankirtan Yagya. Similarly, one should not renounce charity or tapasya. The yoga system for control of the mind and senses must be strictly followed. Lord Rishabdev showed how severe types of tapasya should be performed, and he set an example for all others. So, those who are advanced in spiritual life do not put faith in the mind. Why?
Mind is like a monkey.
What say? Like what?
It's a cunning hunter who does not put his finger.
Like an animal, right? The mind is like an animal, meaning that even after being captured and you put him in a cage, but the hunter knows that any time the animal may run away. Text 23. Tatha choktaham na kuriyat karhichit sakyam manasihya navasthite yad vishrambhachidram chainam chaskanda tapa aishwaram. All the learned scholars have given their opinion. The mind is by nature very restless, and one should not make friends with it. If we place full confidence in the mind, it may cheat us at any moment. Even Lord Shiva became agitated upon seeing the Mohini form of Lord Krishna. And so Bhari Muni also fell down from the mature stage of yogic performance. So therefore we should thank our lucky stars if we have no position in society. Right? Thank our lucky stars. This is good. Destiny make you become unknown. Right? Because then you can be peaceful. Right? We are seeing here what the teachings here, because the mind, the problem is not the other party, the problem is our own mind. So that's why 99.9% of the whole world consists of nobodies. Right? The first business of one trying to advance in spiritual life is to control the mind and senses. So first business. Alright. As Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 15.7, Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha Manasasthanindriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. Although the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and are therefore in a transcendent position, they are still suffering in this material world and struggling for existence due to the mind and the senses. To get out of this false struggle for existence and become happy in the material world, one has to control the mind and senses and be detached from material conditions. One should never neglect austerities and penances. One should always perform them. Lord Rishabdev personally showed us how to do this. In Srimad Bhagavatam 9.1970, it is specifically stated, Matra swasra duhitra va navi vikta sano bhavet balavan indriya gramo vidvamsam apiharhashi. A grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi and brahmachari should be very careful when associating with women. One is forbidden to sit down in a solitary place even with one's mother, sister or daughter. In our Krishna consciousness movement, it has been very difficult to dissociate ourselves from women in our society, especially in Western countries. We are therefore sometimes criticized, but nonetheless we are trying to give everyone a chance to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and thus advance spiritually. If we stick to the principle of chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra offenselessly, then by the grace of Srila Haridas Thakur, we may be saved from the allurement of women. However, if we are not very strict in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we may at any time fall victim to women. So Prabhupada is saying that our protection is the chanting of Hare Krishna. Then text 4. Nityam dadati kamasya chidram tam manuyet yogina krita metrasya patyujayeva pahunschali. Read Sita.
An unchaste woman is very easily carried away by paramours, and it sometimes happens that a husband is violently killed by her paramours. If the yogi gives his mind a chance and does not restrain it, his mind will give facilities to enemies like lust, anger, and greed, and they will doubtlessly kill the yogi. In this verse, the word pumschali refers to a woman who is easily carried away by men. Such a woman is never to be trusted. Unfortunately, in the present age, women are never controlled. According to the directions of the Shastras, women are never to be given freedom. When a child, a woman must be strictly controlled by her father. When she is young, she must be strictly controlled by her husband, and when she is old, she must be controlled by her elderly sons. If she is given independence and allowed to mingle unrestrictedly with men, she will be spoiled. A spoiled woman, being manipulated by paramours, might even kill her husband. This example is given here because a yogi, desiring to get free from material condition, must always keep his mind under control. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that in the morning our first business should be to beat the mind with shoes 100 times, and before going to bed to beat the mind 100 times with a broomstick. In this way, one's mind can be kept under control. An uncontrolled mind and an unchaste wife are the same. An unchaste wife can kill her husband at any time, and an uncontrolled mind followed by lust, anger, greed, madness, envy, and illusion can certainly kill the yogi. When the yogi is controlled by the mind, he falls down into this material condition. One should be very careful of the mind, just as a husband should be careful of an unchaste wife.
Okay, so we've already spoken a lot about that. All right. We gave the story of King Nahush. Text 5. Kamo manyur madho lobha shokam moha bhayadayah karma bandhascha yanmula svikuriyat konyutad buddha. The mind. So this whole section is about the mind. How it works. The mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear. So what happens to this mind? This mind is the root cause of lust. Desire, I want this, I want this, I want this. Anger, unfulfilled desires, you become angry. Pride. Pride. So, like King Nahush. Anyway, he's there for us to take the example, but no problem. We don't have any problem with him as such, alright? We are just taking his example, alright? That's us actually, alright? The mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride. So he became Indra and he became proud. Greed. Right? Greed. Lamentation. Okay, so the queen refused to become his wife. Somebody else queen, right? Lament, illusion and fear. Finally, he fell down. You see, when he came in that body of a python, he didn't forget who he was. Alright? He didn't forget who he was. And when he captured Bhim, and when Yudhishthir Maharaj asked, "Who are you?" I mean, how would you feel? He said, "Oh, my great-grandfather, who's supposed to be so pious, he went to Swargalok. Look at his condition." Right? You'll feel ashamed. Both parties will feel ashamed, my great-grandfather and the person who's facing the great-grandchild, right? Such a disgrace. God, we don't know what has been the journeys of our life. I just heard Prabhupada speaking. He said that this Atma has been in so many different types of yonis before finally he becomes human being. Now you are a human being. Take advantage of it and become released from the cycle of birth and death and go back home, back to Godhead. Combined, oh here it is, combined these constitute bondage to fruitive activity. What learned man would put faith in the mind? The mind, the mind is the original cause of material bondage. It is followed by many enemies: anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion and fear. The best way to control the mind is to engage it always in Krishna consciousness. Savai mana Krishna pada ravindayoho. Since the followers of the mind bring about material bondage, we should be very careful not to trust the mind. Don't say, I'm fine, I can handle this. Right? Can handle this. So, big mistake. Alright, now in for a huge shloka. Text 6. Athevamakhila lokapala lalomo pi vilakshaner jaravad avaduta vesha bhasha charite avilakshita bhagavat prabhavo yoginam samparaya vidhim anukshishayan swakalevaram jihasur atmanyatmanam asamvyavahitam anarthantara bhavenan vikshamanana uparatanuvrittir upararama. Lord Rishabdev was the head of all kings. Akhila Lokapala Lalamaha. Lord Rishabdev, by his very name, Rishab means chief, was the head of all kings and emperors within this universe, but assuming the dress and language of an avadut, he acted as if dull and materially bound. Remember last week we spoke about ordinary people cannot recognize who is a highly elevated soul. We gave the example of who? Which example we gave? Shukdev Goswami. Yeah. Thank you. You learned one lesson. You were what's that? Reminded, right? Quite strongly, so it poked in. Shukdev Goswami. So you have to excuse me when sometimes I'm shouting. But I'm glad you remembered. So he acted as if dull and materially bound. So Shukdev Goswami, 16-year-old boy, right? As he's walking around completely naked, the street urchins and the Aborigine women, they were chasing after him, right? And they were doing all types of nasty things. And then when Shukdev Goswami walked into that assembly, immediately of sages, where Parikshit Maharaj was inquiring from all those sages, immediately everybody stood up, they rose. And then these street urchins, what did they do? They ran away. Why?
Because they were afraid.
Why they were afraid?
They saw the respect
Of being his position.
Yeah. And then Prabhupada said in that purport, he says, this Bhagavatam is not for those who are not serious. Right? He said, this whole discussion is for those who are serious. Because these boys and women, they could also sit there and listen, right? They say, oh, what a great personality, may I also come and hear, but no, they ran away. So these classes of people are always there. So, Krishna consciousness, the study of Bhagavatam, is only for those who are serious. Yeah, so, though Lord Rishabdev was the head of all kings, an emperor's head, see, he was not only one small king, he was not even an emperor of one planet. He was emperor of the whole universe. All right. So he appeared, he assumed the dress and language of an avadut. He acted as if dull and materially bound. So that was his method of austerity. That was his yoga practice. He appeared dull and materially bound. Consequently, no one could observe his divine opulence. He adopted this behavior just to teach yogis how to give up the body. Nonetheless, he maintained his original position as a plenary expansion of Lord Vasudeva Krishna. Remaining always in that state, he gave up his pastimes as Lord Rishabdev within the material world. If following in the footsteps of Lord Rishabdev, one can give up his what? Subtle body, meaning we are not only to give our gross body, we must give up the subtle body. This is the perfection of yoga. Alright? Able to the soul to release himself from the subtle body. So one can give up his subtle body. There is no chance that one will accept a material body again. Alright. So see, one knock, the body dies. But the subtle body does not die. And that soul is stuck in the subtle body and therefore grows another body automatically. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tadvataha tyaktva deham punar janma neti mameti sorjuna. One who knows the transcendent nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. This is possible simply by keeping oneself an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. One must understand his constitutional position and the constitutional position of the Supreme Lord as well. Both have the same spiritual identity. Maintaining oneself as a servant of the Supreme Lord, one should avoid rebirth in this material world. If one keeps himself spiritually fit, see, everybody wants to be materially fit. I have to do my diet, I have to do my yoga, I have to do this and this, my pranayam, I don't know what stuff. Everybody wants to keep the body fit. They don't have time to keep the body spiritually fit. Alright? What's the use of investing so much time, money in a body that will die like this? Right? And you lose the chance for spiritual fitness. If one keeps himself spiritually fit and thinks of himself as an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord, he will be successful at the time he has to give up the material body. To think oneself as a servant, is that a joke? Life after life, we are not able to think of ourselves as das. Everybody thinking they are boss. Little position, you become boss. Right? Big position, you become bigger boss. King Nahus. Right? So very, very difficult. Therefore, the system of Bhakti Yoga is the most difficult. Super most difficult. The practice is easy, simple. But real bhaktas is extremely rare. Sudurlabha. Right? Sudurlabha. Rarely achieved. Because we can't eat up our false ego. right? And unless and until we accept that we are servant of Krishna, we can't be free from the cycle of birth and death. We can't enter Vaikuntha. Text 7. Tasyaha va evam muktalingasya bhagavat rishabhasya yogamaya vasamnaya dehaimam jagatim abhimana bhasena sankramanah konka venka kuttakan dakshina karnatakan deshan yadrichayopagataha kuttaka chalo pavana asya kritasma kavala unmada iva mukta murdhajo samvita eva vichachara. Actually, Lord Rishabdev had no material body, but due to Yogamaya, he considered his body material, and therefore, because he played like an ordinary human being, he gave up the mentality of identifying with it. Following this principle, he began to wander all over the world. While traveling, he came to the province of Karnat. This is Karnataka, is it? Karnat. In South India, and passed through Konka, Venka and Kuttaka. He had no plan to travel this way, but he arrived near Kuttakachala and entered a forest there. He placed stones within his mouth and began to wander through the forest, naked and with his hair dishevelled like a madman.
Why to place stones and
I have no idea.
why to torture
I have no idea. No idea. He was practicing some type of yoga. Anyway, they're going to be imitators now, right? Atha samira vega vidhuta venu vikarshana jato gradhavanalastad vanam aleli hanah sahatena dadhaha. While he was wandering about, a wild forest fire began. This fire was caused by the friction of bamboos, which were being blown by the wind. In that fire, the entire forest near Kuttakachala and the body of Lord Rishabdev were burned to ashes. Purport. Such a forest fire can burn the external bodies of animals, but Lord Rishabdev was not burned, although he apparently seems so. Lord Rishabdev is the super soul of all living entities within the forest, and his soul is never burned by fire. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Adhayoyam, the soul is never burned by fire. Due to Lord Rishabdev's presence, all the animals in the forest were also liberated from material engagement. Just imagine, lucky, unfortunately we were not there. Sure, unfortunately, we were not there. All right, let's plunge in this one now, text 9. Yasya kilanu charitam upakarnya konka venka kutta kanham rajarhan namo pashikshya kalava dharma utkrisya mane bhavitavyena vimohitaha swadharma patham akuto bhayam apahaya kupatha pakhandam asamanjasam nija manishaya manda sampravartayishyate. Shukdev Goswami continued speaking to Maharaj Parikshit. My dear king, the king of Konka, Venka and Kuttaka, whose name was Arhat, heard of the activities of Rishabdev and imitating Rishabdev's principles, introduced a new system of religion. taking advantage of Kali Yuga, the age of sinful activity, King Arhat became bewildered, gave up the Vedic principles which are free from risk, and concocted a new system of religion opposed to the Vedas. That was the beginning of the Jain Dharma. Many other so-called religions follow this atheistic system. You know, just like you ask me a question, what did he put stone in his mouth? And I say, I don't know. Right? I said, I don't know. And I said, must be some system of yoga that he was practicing, but I don't know. What happened here? What happened here?
New system of religion.
How? How did he do it? How is he following Rishabdev? Is he following Rishabdev? Imitating, yeah. He didn't go and say, ask, where's the system? Alright? Like for us, you know, small people, naturally we say, I don't know what he's doing. But this one is a king, right? See? He's a king. And it's very dangerous to become kings, right? He's a king. What did he do? And of course, because we have studied so much Prabhupada's books, that's why we are able to speak like that, right? He obviously didn't study Prabhupada's book, right? So what did he do? He concocted a system, right? Why did he do this? What this verse is saying?
Taking advantage of the age of
Yeah, his mind became polluted. See what happened? He only saw. Oh, no. Did he see? No, he heard. By rumor, right? He heard by rumor, you know, there was this King Rishabdev, he was doing this and this. He heard, only he was doing this. He didn't go and inquire. He didn't go and sit with a guru and ask what is the proper system. Right? No. He heard, he said, you know, this one is doing this, so I also do. Is it true in Kali Yuga? People do like this?
Yeah, very much.
Very much, okay. Yeah, so I'm speaking the truth. Right? We are reading from this verse. Huh? Herd mentality. So he heard, you know, somebody was doing it. Let me also do. He was doing. How do you know what he was doing? Right? He's an avadut. Nobody could recognize him. So very dangerous. So therefore he concocted a new system. And so King Arhat, being bewildered, gave up the Vedic principles, meaning he's already following the system of the Vedas. But now he became bewildered because he heard of one king. Rishabh, he said, I'm also like him. Understand you know what's the problem? He's a king, and I'm also a king. He is doing, I will also do. Imitating. Right? So again I repeat, don't become kings and queens, my dear ladies. Remain small nobodies. You are more safe. Right? When Lord Shri Krishna was present on this planet, oh, here it is, a person named Pundrak. See, just hearing that word, we start laughing. You remember? So news was sent to Krishna by King Pundrak.
And he thought he was original and Krishna's imitating.
Anyway, so that was a super big.
Yes, Ugandhi Pavraka. Nobody mentioned children Pavraka. Found it.
Anyway, that was a super joke in the assembly of Dwarka. Right? Everybody cracked up. Anyway, here we are. When Lord Shri Krishna was present on this planet, a person, not even a king, a person named Pondrak, imitated the four-handed Narayan and declared himself the supreme person of Godhead. He desired to compete with Krishna. So what did he do? He put up 4 arms, all right, and I don't know whether children, they draw a disc here, Shankar, right? So he told Krishna, this Sudarshan Chakra actually belongs to me, you give it to me. What did Krishna say? What did Krishna say? Should I tell you or you're going to find out? You'll find out. Okay, next week you're going to tell me. Alright? Meaning you're not reading Krishna book. You know the story of Krishna. Why was I laughing? This ridiculous personality, Pondrak. Krishna told him, yes, I will give it, I will release it on you. Alright, everybody has to start reading Krishna book. Yeah, that was the biggest joke of the year. No, but we've heard, so we remember. And Amala Bhakta Maharaj, he's got his recordings, So you can listen to this bedtime, just listen. He's like a dramatic narration. Yeah, because I was seeing the whole image, the whole thing, how, this messenger came, in Dwarka, and he gave this, there's a challenge from King Pondrak. So the whole, beside Krishna, everybody was just laughing. This King Pondrak. So what happened? Similarly, during the time of Lord Rishabdev, the king of Konka and Venka acted like a Paramahams. Alright? And imitated Lord Rishabdev. He introduced a system of religion and took advantage of the fallen condition of the people in this age of Kali. Just see what he did. What did he do? How did he take advantage? How did he take advantage? How?
Because in this age, anyone can be a Bhagwan, God, anybody. You just tell this one has some mistake. He can bring Rasgullas from Jammu Kashmir. That man will become Bhagwan.
He knows that in Kali Yuga people are Manda, Sumanda Matayu, right? They don't read Shastra.
They sway easily.
Right? They are foolish.
Yeah.
They're lazy in spiritual realization. Right? So he took advantage. He said, anyway, they won't know. Right? As I just said, you say, why stone in the mouth? I say, I don't know. There is some yoga system, how to go and check what is this Jarad yoga that he was practicing. Right? But what did he do? See, we could answer properly because I said we are reading Prabhupada's books. There is system in anything. Specifically, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Because when I was speaking like that, I was actually remembering these passages of how this bodh also creates disturbance. Not following in the proper Guru Parampara. So here also Jainism, right? So because people are foolish, they don't study Shastra and they're lazy, right? So somebody comes, so he acted as a Paramahamsa and he imitated the role Rishabdev, meaning that it's easy, what is easy? Here's somebody who looks like a Mahatma, right? To come and study, it's work, right? It's a lot of work. Like students, it's work. 10, 15 years, you just sit down and you study. It's work. It's tapasya. It's yajna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, what does he say about Swadhyay? What does Krishna says in chapter 4 Bhagavad Gita about Swadhyay? What is Swadhyay? It's a yajna. There is the yajna of charity. There is the yajna of austerity. This one mystic yoga system. And Swadhyay is a yajna. So people are lazy. They don't like to study. And therefore they are fooled by kuyogis, false yogis. So this king of Venka, Arhat, he took advantage of the fallen condition of the people in this age of Kali. It is said in Vedic literature that people in this age will be more inclined to accept anyone as the Supreme Lord and accept any religious system opposed to Vedic principles. The people in this age, here it is. The people in this age are described as Manda Sumanda Mataya. Generally, they have no spiritual culture and therefore they are very fallen. Due to this, they will accept any religious system. Due to their misfortune, they forget the Vedic principles. Following non-Vedic principles in this age, they think themselves the Supreme Lord and thus spread the cult of atheism all over the world. So I guess I really don't know what it's all about, but it looks like he was God, Rishabdev was like God, so King Arhat became God, right? So meaning we are all God. So I guess that's the end story of Jainism. I don't know. That everybody is a God. What do they say? I don't know what they say. They are no God. They say they are no God. They are only liberated. Non-Vedic principles. Okay? Due to their misfortune, they forget the Vedic principles. Following non-Vedic principles in this age, they think themselves the Supreme Lord. This is what Prabhupada is saying here. They think themselves the Supreme Lord and thus spread the cult of atheism all over the world. Some directly say, I'm the Supreme, but others say in a different way. But finally they are saying that there is no one to surrender to. We are all God. Right. Text 10. Yena havava kalo manuja pasada deva maya mohita swavidhi niyoga shocha charitra vihina deva helananya paravratani nija nije chaya grihnana asnana chamana shocha Keshulun chanandini kalina dharma bahuleno pahata dhiyo brahma brahmana yagya purusha loka vidusha kaha prayena bhavishyanti. Okay, now please read Amrita, you want to read?
Translation: People who are lowest among men and bewildered by the illusionary energy of the Supreme Lord will give up the original Vanaprastha Dharma, Varnashrama Dharma, and its rules and regulations. They will abandon bathing 3 times daily and worship the Lord. Abandoning cleanliness and neglecting the Supreme Lord, they will accept nonsensical principles. Not regularly bathing or washing their mouths regularly, they will always remain unclean and they will pluck out their hair. Following a concrete religion, they will flourish. During this age of Kali, people are more inclined to irreligious systems. Consequently, these people will naturally deride Vedic authority. The followers of Vedic authority, the Brahmanas, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the devotees. Purport: Presently, the hippies in the Western countries fit this description. They are irresponsible and unregulated. They do not bathe and they deride standard Vedic knowledge. They conquered new lifestyles and religions. There are many hippie groups at the present moment, but they are originated from the King Arhat, who imitated the activities of Lord Rishabdeva, who was situated on the Paramahansa stage. King Arhat did not care for the fact that although Lord Rishabdeva acted like a madman, his stool and urine were nonetheless aromatic, so much so that they nicely scented the countryside for miles around. The followers of King Arhat went under the name Jains, and they were later followed by many others, particularly by the hippies, who are more or less offshoots of the Mayavad philosophy, because they think themselves the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such people do not respect the real followers of Vedic principles, the ideal Brahmanas, nor do they have respect for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Brahman. Due to the influence of this age of Kali, they are apt to conquer false religion systems.
So Prabhupada is writing according to what he's saying, right? So he observed that the hippies were doing what imitation Rishabdev was doing, and they took it even further. So that's why they stop bathing. They do all sort of dirty things, and they think it's a religion. My religion is smoking, drinking, intoxication, and free sex. They thought this is the religion. So it's horrible. And Prabhupada is saying that these are offshoots. So from this one point, so just see when there is no parampara, right? When there is no parampara, then from one mistake, so maybe it started as a one deviation. From that one deviation, it goes further deviation, until you come complete irreligion. Right? So that's why Srila Prabhupada, he said, do not change anything in what he has given. Right? Do not change anything.
They don't believe in rebirth.
They don't believe in rebirth?
Jainism.
Is it?
And they don't believe in, like we collect the ashes and then put in. They don't believe in all that pigeons and birds to Jainism. They leave their dead bodies to some place and
No,
that's Parsi.
Vultures. These people cremate, but
they don't collect the ashes. They don't do anything. They can't.
and they don't brush their teeth because they kill germs.
No, when they have that
Padyushan.
that time they keep fast and then don't brush teeth and all. They just drink hot water for 8 days or
They don't, because the germs are there on the mouth, so that it will touch you.
Anyway, so here we are, okay? So Prabhupada, the verse is saying, this is from Shukdev Goswami, saying that they don't bathe, they don't do so many things, concocted religious principles. Asnana, anachamana, ashocha, kesha ullachana adini. This is what they do. They don't take bath, they don't wash their mouth. See, Prabhupada, when he came, he started getting everybody to take baths, right? That was the first thing he taught all of us. Take baths. Something so basic. Of anyway, Prabhupada, what he's done for us. Let us become basic human being, proper human being, right? I don't want to say more. I feel ashamed when I think about it. Text 11. Te chahyarva tanaya nijaloka yatrayandha param paraya shasvatas tamasyandhe swayameva prapatisyanti. Low class people, due to their gross ignorance, introduce a system of religion that deviates from the Vedic principles. Following their own mental concoction, they automatically fall down into the darkest regions of existence. So, Nija Loka Yatraya Andha Paramparaya, a disciplic succession of blind, ignorant people. That's what we are discussing, right? One person does something wrong, deviate little bit, the next one deviate little bit, another one deviate little bit until they come complete hippie. Total degradation. So dangerous. So therefore, if you don't study the books, right, we are not so fortunate to come in touch with Srila Prabhupada. Where will we be today? Hippies. Right? In this connection, one may see Bhagavad Gita chapter 16, where there is a description of the downfall of the Asuras, 16.16 and 16.23. So Prabhupada has given us a task. Go and read what? 16, 16 and 16.23. Okay, immediately find out. 16, 16 and 16.23, because I know none of us are going to read it, right? So better read now itself. Asuras. Ishwaroham, aham bhogi. So what happens to them? What is their destination?
Shastra.
16, 16.
Oh, 16 somebody else is 16. 16.
Yeah.
You said.
As populated by various anxieties and power and network of creatures, they become too strongly attached to senses and fall down into hell.
Then 23.
23 is those who act under the impulse of desire, discarding the injunctions of the scriptures, attain neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme goal in life.
So this is the downfall of the Asuras. Okay. So should we stop here? Because there's going to be more. We can't finish this section. Alright, we'll stop here. Because if I start to speak, I'll go on speaking. Alright. So then text 12. But we got the idea, right? It's amazing. It's amazing, like what's being described here is the fall down of the Vedic system, fall down like breaking a parampara. Why? How it happened? Simply by hearsay. Alright, by hearsay you make an opinion and say he was doing like this, so let me also do. Instead of going very humbly, right? Instead of going very humbly to a guru and learning from the guru, you just heard, this one is doing this way, that one is, in ISKCON also maybe we do that type of stuff. I heard he's doing like this, let me also do. Right? Instead of going to the source and learning properly how to do, so we mess up. We all do it. In Kali Yuga, what to do? Manda, sumanda matayo. So we all do it in our own ways. But it can become a big way, right? It can become a big way if we are a leader, right? He will follow us because he's the king, right? So it became major disaster, super disaster. My God, looks like I've never read all this, even though I have read. It looks like I've never read. It's amazing. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Kalpatarugascha Kripasindhu Patitanaam Hare Krishna.